Story time about how my best friend ditched me for his girlfriend. So a little background information, I was 14 years old and this all happened from 7th to 9th grade. So my best friend Aiden and I met whenever we were in 7th grade, and him and I hit it off almost immediately. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. At first, he was using me for my homework because I was a straight A student, so it definitely was a fake friendship at first. But during the summer before 8th grade, he broke up with his girlfriend. Fast forward, him and I start hanging out more, and we got super close. Then he got back with his girlfriend. And she was the jealous type. She did not like that him and I were friends at all. She was always running to my friend Chelsea asking if Aiden and I would flirt with each other. And of course, every time Chelsea would tell her no. Well, one day him and I are having a deep conversation about how he thought that his girlfriend was going to leave him for her guy best friend. How ironic. Well, I was like, I don't think she would ever do that, blah, blah, blah. But then I asked him, hey, if you and your girlfriend weren't together, would you date me? Like for part 2. Part 2 about how my best friend ditched me for his girlfriend. So like I said, him and I are having a deep conversation, and I all of a sudden ask him, hey, if you weren't dating your girlfriend, would you date me? And he says yes. But nothing came of it. So fast forward, the pandemic hits, and I had never saw him again because he transferred to a different high school. We still talked every day, but then he just stopped answering the phone, and I asked my best friend why he stopped talking to me, and she told him it was because his girlfriend got jealous and she asked him to stop speaking to me, even though she literally had no reason to dislike me. But since he's a good boyfriend, he told her that he would stop texting me, and he did, without giving me a reason, which sucked even more. But I guess that makes him an even better boyfriend because he didn't tell me, oh yeah, my girlfriend's jealous of you, sorry. But still, I was pissed. Anyway, so I accepted it at that point until one day I was texting with Chelsea and she sends me a picture of Aiden and his girlfriend. And he looked really happy with her, but I realized that I still had feelings for him and I have no idea what to do. Is it too late or no?
My boyfriend asked me to pay for my birthday dinner. Disclaimer, this is not my story time. It was sent to me on Instagram. My boyfriend and I are nurses. We actually met in nursing school. He's 32, I'm 28. The story goes, we met in class. He was super charming, very good looking. He had the exact body type I liked. Muscular, but not super big. Has tattoos, blue eyes, tan skin, black hair. Basically could be Elvis. Every girl in our class had a crush on him. But I was getting chased by a bunch of the boys. He one day caught me staring at him in class. Then he came to talk to me and flirted with me. Right away I told him I thought that he was cute, but that I would never date anybody from our class because I needed to focus. He agreed, but he wanted to become friends. We went out and had so much fun. 3 weeks later, he asked me to be his girlfriend and I said yes. Thankfully, we were both very invested in our studies. We were both paying off our own school. We pretty much had the same schedule. Go to school in the morning and work from home at night. On the weekends, we would dedicate ourselves to studying. We were a well-oiled machine. At this point, he would pay for dinners. If we were going on a date, he'd usually pay for it. But every now and then, I would pick up the tab, or I would take him a coffee, or his favorite croissants. Things started changing when we moved in together. He asked me if we could discuss finances and I said yes. He asked me how much money I was earning and I was honest. On average, I was earning about $3,000 more than he was. This is when he suggested that I should be paying more rent because I earn more money. I told him I did not feel comfortable with that and that 50-50 should be it. We actually got into a fight about it 2 weeks later, so I threatened to move out. That's when he agreed to 50-50. It's the night of my birthday and I'm sitting at a table full of friends and family. It was a magical night. My parents got to meet my new boyfriend and we all had fun. Parents offered to pay for me, but my boyfriend said no, that he would. When we got home, he asked me to Venmo him my portion of my meal. What? It was my birthday. We consumed about $400 and then he said that I could definitely afford that. I got really angry and left. The next day I broke up with him and moved back in with my parents. He's begging me to come back, but I think he resents that I make more money than him. My overreacting self-care sister.
Storytime about how my friends made everyone hate me. So a little background information, I was 15 and in 9th grade. And we're going to call my best friend Charlene. Her and I were best friends from 6th grade all the way up till freshman year. Well, when we got into high school, she caught feelings for this sophomore who we're going to call Ben. And when I say she caught feelings for this boy, she was like in love with him. Personally, I didn't like anybody. I just got out of a toxic relationship. So boys were like the last thing on my mind. Well, instead of Ben trying to pursue things with her, he would always try to flirt with me instead. And I would never go along with it because duh, girl code. Well, instead of talking to Ben about this, she would run to all of her other friends and call me a slut. For me, quote, letting him flirt with me. Like, girl, I can't control him. The most I can tell him to do is stop. Anyway, so the one day we were waiting for the bus to go home, and all of a sudden Ben comes up behind me and gives me a hug and a kiss. On the cheek, of course, but still. So I push him off of me because, ew. Well, Charlene laughs it off like everything's fine, like for part 2 about how my friends made everyone hate me. So like I said, Ben comes up behind me, give me a hug and a kiss, and I say, ew, push him off of me, and then Charlene laughs it off like everything's fine. But then the next day at school, people are telling me about how she was telling everybody that I would force him to kiss me and hang out with me. And of course, everybody believed her and no one believed me. Which I'm not gonna lie, I feel like in high school, whenever there's a rumor starting, unless you tell your side of the story first, no one's gonna believe you. Well, thankfully, he ended up explaining the whole situation to everybody. So once those rumors were laid to rest, she started new rumors that she was gonna fight me after school. And I was tired of putting up with the shit, so I ended up beating her ass, and now I'm a senior in high school. And thankfully have found amazing supportive friends. As for Charlene, I haven't heard anything about her since, and I would like to keep it that way. Because why would you let a boy get in the middle of our friendship?
Story time about how my husband keeps borrowing money from me and now wants access to my bank accounts. What should I do? Disclaimer, this is not my story time, it's not on my Instagram. My husband and I have been married for 6 years. When we first got married, we were really young, so we were living with our parents. We didn't actually move out from my parents' house up until 2 years ago. In fact, I don't think we're actually adults yet. We both still act like we're teenagers. I'm 24 and he's 25. I recently got myself a really good job. He, on the other hand, has never had a really good job. He does a lot of odd jobs here and there, a lot of catering. He also models because he's extremely good looking. So now that I got myself a job, I wanted to get my own apartment. But of course, I have to include my husband because we're married. He actually ended up getting an okay job. We decided to split the rent and everything was going fine. But then he got laid off and this is when things started going bad. He started asking me for money because he wasn't getting paid anymore. Every now and then he would ask me for like $10 or he would ask me for my debit card. At first, it was just small purchases like going to the supermarket or going to Starbucks. So I gave him my card. One day I'm checking my bank account and I realized that he bought himself a $600 watch. You'll never guess what he said when I confronted him. Part 2 is story time about how my husband keeps borrowing money from me and now wants access to my accounts. What should I do? Disclaimer, it's not my story time, it's sending me on Instagram. When I confronted him about buying a $600 watch with my money, he told me that he has every single right to use my money as much as I do. And even though I'm the one earning the money, he is my husband so he can do whatever he wants with it. I got so angry I picked up one of my crystals and threw it right at his head. Luckily it missed him, but it did scratch his ear. He went berserk and accused me of trying to kill him. He ran over to the ER with a scratch on his ear. I went straight to my parents' house and I told them what was happening. Obviously my parents agree with me that he should not be spending $600 of my money on a stupid watch. And they told me to take away any access he had to my money. So I took away my debit card and my credit card from him. We both ended up apologizing to each other, so for a few months it was okay. He had a few jobs, so he had some spending money for himself. But then he got fired again. That's when he asked me politely to add him to my bank account so that he could get his own debit card from my account. To be honest, at first I thought it was okay, but I didn't say yes or no. I called my parents and they told me absolutely not. And when I told my husband, he threatened to divorce me. He says that I'm neglecting his needs. Part 3 is a story time about how my husband keeps borrowing money from me and now wants access to my bank accounts. Disclaimer, is not my story time, it's on me on Instagram. That's when he threatened to divorce me because I wouldn't give him access to my checking account. He said that I was neglecting him. That's when he told me that if the tables were turned, he would be expected to give me money. And you know what? Totally true. At the same time, I can't allow him to just buy $600 watches. He then made a promise to me that he would only use the money for necessities. So for example, paying bills or anything like that. Although we already have our bills on auto pay, so I'm not sure how that would work. So I took him to the bank and I added him to my account. I know you all must think I'm so stupid right now. And you know what? I am. 2 days later after he got his debit card, I checked his bank account and he had signed up to 3 different OnlyFans accounts. That's a total of $50 a month coming out of my paycheck plus all the things that he buys on the website. I confronted him again and he told me that it was just for fun. And that because I'm at work and he's home alone, he needs something to entertain himself with. Then he told me that if he didn't have the OnlyFans accounts, he would probably end up just cheating on me. And then he asked me, what do you prefer, me watching stuff online or me actually going out and finding women? This is where I need your help. I see his point, but I'm not sure if this is like manipulation or something. He really seems so genuine and he's always doing my laundry, cooking, and cleaning up for me. Even rubs my feet when I get home from work. And I haven't told my parents about this. I think they'll hit the roof. Should I let him have access to OnlyFans and use my money? Or should I put a stop to it and risk him cheating? What should I do?
Storytime about my experience with karma. So a little background information, I was 17 and in 11th grade. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a mean person. Well, not kind of, I just was mean. Like, I got joy out of annoying and making fun of people. Yeah, I know there was something probably wrong with me, leave me alone. Anyway, so I would low-key always bully my cousin, and when she would get upset about it, I would make it seem as if it was a joke. Well, I guess the one day she had enough of me, because there was this boy that I really liked, and we didn't know each other at all, like we had never spoken one word to each other, and my cousin knew that I liked this boy, so she decided that she was going to email him asking him out. And no, this isn't one of those situations where she tried to steal the guy that I liked. Nope, instead she went on my email and emailed him acting like me. Sis must have been determined to get her lick back because I don't even know how she knew the password to my email. So the next day at school, him and I are in citizenship, and we're all on our laptops for this lesson. Well, all of a sudden, I hear him whisper my name to the popular girl that sits next to him, like for part 2. Part 2 about my experience with karma. So like I said, I heard him whisper my name to the popular girl that sits next to him, and she has never liked me. I never bullied her. I know I said I was a mean person, but I didn't bully her. She just hated me. So of course she thinks it would be funny to confront me in front of the whole class, and she's like, why would you email him asking him out? Not only was I embarrassed, but I was shocked because I was like, what are you talking about? Honestly, I thought that they were lying, so I was like, whatever, I'll check when I get home. Well, when I went home that day and checked my email, what do you know? There it is. An email sent from my laptop saying, hey, I really like you. Do you want to go out with me? I forget how, but I found out that it was my cousin. I didn't do anything to her because the damage was already done at that point, but I got bullied so bad for the rest of that week. And I don't even know why. Everybody was being so extra about it. It's not like this kid had a girlfriend or anything, but people were whispering rude things to me in class. And the one day that week while I was in the locker room, that popular girl starts yelling that I have blood on my pants. Like, she screamed it so loud, everybody heard it. And I tried asking my cousin if there was anything. She was ignoring me. So now on top of the whole email situation, I was dealing with that. Obviously, eventually everything died down, but I definitely learned my lesson and I'm no longer a bully.
Get ready with me for a red carpet. I did a lot of prepping. I curled my extensions. So I went to the gym, I showered, now I'm gonna do skincare. It's for the premiere of Flaming Hot and it's gonna be an orange carpet. So I want my face to look really hydrated and dewy. This is the Plump Plump Serum from Glow Recipe 2. Glow Recipe Vitamin C Serum. Plump Plump Hyaluronic Cream, also from Glow Recipe. SPF. Everyone is going crazy over this. Glowy. Sorry. I just signed up for VIX. It's that streaming platform just for telenovelas. It's free. Like, you can watch whatever telenovela you want for free. They do have a premium one, but I'm not gonna pay for that. You just have to watch ads. Who cares? I'm watching Clase 406, Marimar, Lo que la vida me robó, Teresa, Rubí, A Mil por Hora. Oh my god, I cannot wait to watch A Mil por Hora. The invite for the event said business casual. I almost died when I read that because I have been planning my outfit now for like 2 weeks. I got it custom made for $25 in Nicaragua. That's how cheap it is over there. But I designed it myself. I went to get the fabric. I got the lace. I'm trying to give myself like maybe 3 hours to do my hair, my makeup. So right now I think I'm just gonna eat. I'm actually gonna sit down and watch a movie. I don't ever do that during the week. I don't ever allow myself to just relax that way, but I'm going to because when I'm going to events and I'm rushing to try to get ready, I usually tend to get a little bit stressed out, and I'm trying to avoid that so much right now. Anything that stresses me out or makes me anxious, I'm just trying to completely avoid. Got this in the mail. Wella Ultimate Repair Miracle Hair Rescue Treatment Capillaire I have no idea what this is. It's been a couple of hours. I'm now starting to work on my hair. I have about 3 hours and 20 minutes to get ready, which will include makeup, hair, and getting dressed and filming a couple of videos of me getting dressed. I need volume for this event. I want volume. By the way, I have the Last Magic Mike playing in the background, and oh my god, this movie is so freaking hot. The first scene with Salma Hayek and Channing Tatum. Ah! This just might be the longest get ready with me ever. I'm taking the root up and then out. You see? Whoa! Okay, so I'm gonna take this piece at the crown and I'm gonna actually put more into it as well. What if I show up and there's like no red carpet? Wow, that does look voluminous. I'm using the beach waver. I'm gonna put some Clase 406. So this is when I'm gonna fill in my hairline with some powder. This is the Me Cosmetics. I live and die by this. It's actually a foundation for the scalp. Yeah, these curls are so freaking tight. I'm gonna do La Roche-Posay Double Wear Face Moisturizer. I got NYX, the brow gel, wet Q-tip, and I'm gonna clean the edges of the brow so that I make sure there's no glue on there because I do not want it to make the eyeshadow look patchy. Take a tiny bit of the moisturizer. I'm just gonna pat it over my lids and right underneath the brows just because I've cleaned that space and I don't want just dry skin to work on, to ensure that everything flows and blends in really nicely. I'm taking a tiny bit of this Essence Cosmetics foundation. I really, really like this. 2 tiny pumps, like that's not a lot of foundation. 1 pump of the Kosas IV because it makes the skin look so glittery. I like that. I know a lot of people don't like that. I loved it. So This is the Anissa Beauty foundation brush. It's one of my favorite brushes. I haven't used it in so long. I will say though, IV from Kosas is very, very, very dry. You have to work really fast to blend it in. Otherwise, it'll be like a patch of glitter in one spot. More hydration. Rare Beauty contour stick. I forgot my blurring stick. Put it on now though, maybe? Yeah, it's working. I want my face to look fresh, dewy, not full coverage. So I'm doing a tiny, tiny bit of concealer. Blending brush, and I'm gonna blend that in. I don't have my Anissa concealer brush. This is the step where I grab my mirror and then I bring it close to my face, and I'm going to check that everything is blended in. There are no chunky bits. Oh, you see? I forgot the neck. Just because that's probably super dry now. A tiny bit of foundation and blend. For powder, I'm using the Rose from Laura Mercier. I'm going to, I guess it's gonna be kind of a light bake. We're wiping this off. I'm gonna put these brushes back because I like keeping my station clean as I work. A little bit of bronzer. This is from ColourPop. It's Pacific Beach. And I'm picking up just a really small amount on the brush. It's not that much. Light layers of everything. Now that we're starting on the eyes, I'm going to prime my lids with some concealer. Smokin' Hot palette from ColourPop. A little bit of this one and then a little bit of this one. Then start blending it into the eye socket. Okay, this is the bad part about this jelly. Much is flaking off. I'm gonna try to focus more on the outside edge. I'm gonna dip into this hot chocolate shade. And then I'm just gonna go right into the lash line and smudge it in. That's what we're working with so far. I need a little bit more orange. I'm gonna use this blue shade from ColourPop because I wanna have some sort of color from Nicaragua. Okay, so I actually just remembered I wanted to do white in the waterline. Completely forgot about this. This is Half Magic. This is their Berries Are Real shade, and it's kind of just like a liquid glitter. I think maybe just in the center right here. Next, I have Lilac lashes. These are, I think these are those like extension lashes. Oh, it goes underneath. I'm gonna like this. Glue. Oh wow, that was easy. And then you press. I'll just do bottom mascara. This is the color Papaya from ColourPop. I'm gonna take Kosas Cloud Set in the shade Pillowy and the brush through the powder, and then I'm just gonna set and kind of blend in everything. Do you see the difference or no? I see the difference. Lip liner from Iconic London in the shade TTYN. It's Vegas, I know it isn't. It's my favorite lipstick shade ever. It's from Kosas. Complimentary nude shade for olive skin tone. And then right over that, I'm gonna do High Cut, which looks a tiny bit more peachy. So pretty! I just realized the lilac lashes bring a crystal coat. So I guess this goes on top. It says, brush through lashes right after applying lilac lashes to remove stickiness and extend lash wear. I think I'm just gonna do both on the same section. Ouch, that's kind of pulling out. And now the other one. And look how much hair this is, you guys. Can't believe how affordable these were off of Amazon. This is a Flor Sacuanjoche. It's the traditional flower from Nicaragua. It's the national flower, so it matches with my eye makeup. Oh, I forgot I was gonna put more blue. So this goes here. Oh my God, so pretty. I have 3 necklaces. I'm gonna layer some. This is the Nicaraguan flag. One of the options is this one. I don't think it goes. And then the other option is this one. So I think, oh my God, this one is so beautiful. This is by a Nicaraguan designer. He makes all this beautiful, beautiful jewelry. So I think I'm gonna do, oh my God, that looks so good. I'm gonna do this one, map right there. And then I have my fan, my little purse. I got both of these at the Mercado. Kayali Yum Pistachio. Kayali Sweet Diamond and Glossier You. Okay, I'm gonna blow dry my bang just out. And the final touch is gonna be, okay, we've got lipstick, lip liner, gloss, that's what I need. I'm gonna use this one from Anastasia, it's the Coral. Into this palette from ColourPop, it's called Rumor Has It, and I'm gonna dip into this blue right here. There we go. Okay, let me show you guys the bag. Look at the bag. It looks so good. Literally looks so much better than I thought it would. I actually forgot this scarf, which is also by a Nicaraguan designer. I don't know where to put it now, so maybe around here. Okay, I think it's
Story time. My boyfriend cheated on me with the girl best friend. So a little background information. I was 17 and a junior in high school, and my boyfriend and I had been dating for a year. But just a little backstory about when we got together. So there were definitely some red flags that I missed, okay? One of them being that he had a girl best friend. And I don't care what y'all have to say if that makes me insecure or what, but coming from someone who has been the girl best friend, I knew this was not good at all. Especially whenever we first started dating and she was still being super friendly with him, meaning she would hold his hand, she would hang on him 24/7. And when I told him I was super uncomfortable with that and I felt like there needed to be some boundaries, he was like, yeah, I told you what it was whenever we got together. So if you don't like that, then just break up with me. Looking back on it now, that was also a red flag because I feel like he was telling me to break up with him so that way he didn't have to break up with me, like for part 2. Part 2 about how my boyfriend cheated on me with the girl best friend. So like I said, she would still hang all over him and he pretty much told me, if you don't like that, then you can leave. Obviously, I did not want to leave because I liked him and he was my boyfriend. So I just kept putting up with it, and eventually, we got 6 months into our relationship. So at that point, I'm thinking maybe I have a little bit more authority, to be like, hey, I don't like the way that she acts around you. You guys can't hang out like that anymore. And they would hang out alone together. He would take her to dinner, which I literally tried telling him that the stuff that they do together is relationship stuff. And he was like, that's not true at all because we did all of this stuff before you and I even got together. So anyways, like I said, 6 months in, I'm like, hey, I don't like the way that you guys are hanging around each other. Once again, he gives me the same excuse. So he pretty much said that he didn't care. And the one night him and I were supposed to hang out, but he canceled on me last minute. And her and I didn't get along and she never Snapchatted me before, but then I get a Snapchat of her and him making out at his house.
I just matched with my dead wife on Tinder. I had numbly swiped left so many times in a row I almost missed it. I wish I had. My wife Allison had been dead for 2 full years. Yet there she was, on Tinder, smiling at me, in a photo I had never seen, looking older than she did when she passed. All of the air went out of the room. I skimmed through the rest of her profile. There was no writing, but 3 other pictures of my dead wife I had never seen before, including one with the Statue of Liberty behind her, even though I knew she had never been to New York City. At least to my knowledge, the profile had the right name. The right after for if my wife had just kept living after July 2020 but her location was 9 miles away. I swiped right and breathed. For the first time in nearly 2 minutes. I struggled to sleep for the next 48 hours. Never getting a match. Ready to message Tinder and tell them someone was impersonating my beloved dead wife on their app and doing some kind of magical Photoshop to put her in pictures that never existed. The match came at 3:33 a.m., lighting up my phone. I was already awake. The match came with a message. Just a simple hi. The absolute worst in any situation, let alone this one. I mashed the letters on my phone as hard and as fast as I could. Who is this? Why are you doing this? And where did you get these pictures of my wife? She died of cervical cancer 2 years ago, you monster. I had to wait for another 24 hours before I got an answer. It came in the middle of, are you home? What? What the fuck? I got another answer before I could form my own. I'm outside. My blood ran cold. Something rattled in the darkness of my kitchen and I jumped up and readied myself in bed, then realized it was just ice dropping in the ice maker in the freezer. Another message. Holy shit. Let me in, please. Fuck. 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 What? Someone had to be fucking with me, but who would be this impossibly cruel and diabolical? There may have been a couple of people who didn't like me at work, but no one who would go anywhere near this far. Another message. Never mind. No more time for thought. Just reading. Never mind.
Storytime about my psycho boyfriend and backstabbing best friend. So a little background information, I was 17 and in 12th grade, and we're gonna call my best friend Sheila. And she had just met this guy who was, quote, the love of her life on this vegan Facebook page. Well, the one day while they're on FaceTime, his best friend Brad saw what I looked like and he wanted my phone number. Fast forward, she gives it to him and I start talking and we hit it off instantly. I definitely thought that he was boyfriend material, because even though we lived like 5 hours away from each other, we would Skype for like 9 hours a day, every day. Fast forward to my birthday, we make things official, and he wanted to see me for my birthday, so he decided to get a hotel room for us. So finally, him and I meet in person, and we end up doing the nasty. And it was terrible, but he was my boyfriend, so Well, after this, he ends up becoming weirdly obsessed with me. He starts saying things like the next time that he comes and sees me, we're gonna get married. After talking to Sheila about it, I decided to break things off with him because things were moving way too fast and it freaked me out. After I told him this, he started sobbing. He was like, I wish I would have got you pregnant so that way you couldn't leave me. And I'm in shock because, dude, it has been 3 months. You need to calm down. Like for part 2. Part 2 about my psycho ex and my backstabbing best friend. So like I said, Sheila convinced me to break up with him, and I did. Fast forward, Sheila becomes super distant with me, and she's posting stuff on her Facebook like, oh, when your new boo gives you his hoodie. And her man had broke up, so I texted her asking who it was about, because I'm her best friend, duh. Finally, a few days later, after she was done avoiding me, she decides to answer with, we need to talk. I slept with Brad, and now him and I are in love with each other. And I'm like, what the hell happened to girl code? Like, yeah, I didn't want him, but at the same time, you're a snake. Like, ew. Anyway, so then she starts saying things like he's the best boyfriend and the reason why I'm single is because I wasn't appreciative of him. I ended up messaging her ex and telling him what happened, and to get our get back, we slept together. Fast forward, a month goes by and then I get a text from Sheila and Brad on the same day saying that they broke up because both of them cheated on each other. And it was quite comical because Brad's like, yeah, you were the best girlfriend I ever had, and then Sheila's like, yeah, you were my best friend. I don't know why I would do that to you. I told both of them to F off, and then I told her ex what happened. So him and I laugh about it, and then 2 days later I get a text from him saying that him and Sheila are getting married. Yeah.